Thank you. My name is Joe McGowan. I joined Air Pacific back in the day, 1990. Oh, actually, yeah, 1990. Uh, so 30 years and a bit in Fiji Airways until May of last year. Um, Trying to recall incidents of the good things that have happened during the flying is difficult because there was a lot of good things. However, some incidents stand out, and um, usually it's the not so good ones that we remember clearly. And one I remember clearly is on a flight to Sydney one evening. um uh, at the end of the boarding, we had a young man and his father aboard the aircraft last. His father was very frail, and they sat in business class to A and B. And then we were off. I spoke to the son, and he said they were on a holiday, the whole family, mother, his wife. Um, they were all at the Fijian, and they thought it best to take the old man back because they felt that it was not a good time for him to be in Fiji. So anyway, during the flight, after the meal service, the lights were down. I was up the front at the purser station, and when the young man poked his head through the curtain and looked at me, and when I looked up, I knew the news wasn't so good. So I stood up and brought him into that area there, and I spoke to him, and I said, he didn't have to say anything. I just said, don't worry about it, we'll take care of it. So anyway, the old man sometime during the flight, had passed on. So we didn't we made the old man sit in a comfortable position, covered him with a blanket, and the young man just sat there. We reported it to the captain, who sent the information on to Sydney. Anyway, we got to Sydney. We had curtained off that little area, so a lot of the passengers didn't know that we had actually had a death on board. And then, because the flight arrived there late at night, we also had all the services in Sydney wait there, like paramedics, biosecurity, customs. They came on board, and passengers had disembarked, and just the crew and the young man. The pilots had also disembarked, leaving us to wait with the young man. So we thought we'd just wait with him until they had taken his father's body. On speaking to the medical people there, they told us the old man was what they classed as an expected death. So there was not much of an investigation and all that. So we cleared the aircraft after that. The young man came through with us through to immigration. By the time the airport had shut down, they had one customs officer there just to clear us through. We managed to find transport and go to the hotel. But that's just one of the incidents that I remember. The other one is, I think there would have been a more recent one. Was on a flight from Los Angeles to Nandi on Airbus. That was a pretty full flight. We had a couple come on board. The guy was in his late 50s. They were from here and had migrated, so they were coming back to see their first grandchild. During the flight, it was brought to my attention that the gentleman was having some difficulty, but by the time we got to him, he was in deep trouble. We couldn't revive the guy. The crew acted, very calmly. There was a doctor on board. We did everything we could to revive him, CPR and whatnot, and at the same time, try and calm his wife. And he was a big guy, so I had a team they were mostly women, girls on board, and they did a great job. Their training kicked in. Everybody did what they're supposed to do. We liaised with the flight deck. That was only 3 hours into the flight, so our medical support unit in Arizona told us to stop doing CPR, and then we carried the old man all the way back to Nandi, which is, around 7 hours or so. Then we found out from his wife he had all the major kind of diseases he had had. He had had a bypass, he had all kinds of things. So anyway, we stayed with the couple after they got into Nandi. We ended up having to help offload the old man from the aircraft, and then ensure that his wife was taken care of before we all went home. After that incident, we had a few of the girls go through a counseling session. But the thing the takeaway from all of this is that, the experience, you need the experience to be there in those kind of times to take a lead role in handling those kind of situations. You do the best you can, and most times, like in those two cases that I highlighted, one expectant death, one the guy was carrying so much sickness. At the end of it all, you can't do much. You can't do much. So we still have a lot to offer. If a lot of our training remains with us, that'll never go away. At some stage, we hope not to use those kind of training in those kind of situations, but if need be, it's there and it's available.